Hello everybody, and welcome to week 3 in our South Africa month. It also happens to be my birthday month and my birthday week this week of Monday Munchies. So if you feel like joining our Patreon or giving to Monday Munchies and Crossing Borders, there'll be links in the descriptions below. It would be a great birthday present, and I would sincerely appreciate it, as would the project, because all the money we get will go straight to the project, both to make Monday Munchies as well as Crossing Borders, which is the overarching project. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Becky. I am the creator, director, writer, videographer, everythinger of Monday Munchies and the overarching project Crossing Borders, which this shirt is from. It's my Iceland design. Very cute. Boop, boop, boop. You can only get it before we start filming. This is like a support shirt. If you're part of our Patreon, you'll receive this shirt if you're at a certain tier. If you donate on the platform that will be in the description below, there's a tier where you'll get a t-shirt as well as this t-shirt. This t-shirt will not be available once we hit the road. This is like a pre-support, get us on the road type t-shirt, so it's limited edition. Get yours today. Yeah, today we're making Vetkoek and Curried Mince. This recipe comes to us from Daryl at darylskitchen.com. So very nice, very easy website to remember, and very easy name to remember, because Daryl and Daryl's Kitchen. He's a South African cook who born and bred in South Africa, so this is his recipe for this, and I'm excited to try it. Basically, Vetkoek means fat cake, and it sort of reminds me, and I think it even says it, that it's like a donut. Not sweet like a donut, but kind of the way you make it. We're gonna fry it quick, just make sure the outside's crispy while the inside's still soft and delicious. And then we're gonna fill it with our curry filling. We're gonna start off just making the Vetkoek because we do need to let it sit in the fridge. It says overnight. We've got about 5 hours before I actually need to start making this for dinner tonight, because my family is actually gonna eat this tonight. We made the baboti. Still trying to figure out how to say that. Please correct me in the comments, and then I will look foolish now, but I will feel better about it later. And my mom actually liked it. I was very surprised. She didn't even falter. She's like, yeah, I'll try some. And this has very similar flavor profile to that, so I think it'll go over well. It does call for peas and carrots, which Wegmans happen to be out of. So there will be no peas and carrots, which is probably good for everybody in my family, except for me, because I like peas and carrots. So we're gonna omit those. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm a mess today. I am just starting to drink my coffee, which I just got this mug. My Iceland mug died in the dishwasher. So I got this little mug to replace it. It's 2 little bunnies, and it's that same camping material. I don't know what it's made out of, but withstands a lot of stuff, except apparently being in the dishwasher too many times. I miss my Iceland mug. And it's a churro coffee today. Not from anywhere special, just it's a Wegmans brand pod. I didn't have enough money to get my normal Bones coffee this month, so I'm drinking this. But it's okay, it's actually pretty good. I put a French vanilla creamer in it. I was putting a raspberry creamer in it, and it just wasn't working, but French vanilla creamer makes it delicious. And you can definitely taste the cinnamon. I'm just going off on tangent after tangent. Let's get over to the counter so we can see our ingredients, make the dough, pop it in the fridge, and yeah, I'll see you over there. Bye. Alright, Jetsetters, welcome to the counter. We've got your ingredients here in colorful bowls today. I got clear bowls. We're doing alright. There's not a lot to this dough. It's literally just a pretty plain dough. I think you just want a vehicle to get the curry mince into your face the easiest and most tasty way possible. So We're not doing anything super crazy with this dough. We just have 5 cups of flour, 2 cups of lukewarm water. This is just a little extra flour. We will need to put the dough together on a floured surface. So this is just to flour the surface. We have a 7-gram packet of active dry yeast, 10 grams of salt, and 30 grams of sugar. So, that's all. This is just my coffee. We're not putting the coffee in here. Probably not delicious. Let me take a little sip of it. Alright, let's get to it. You will need a large bowl. I've just gone ahead and put the flour right in the large bowl instead of putting all the 5 cups of flour into a different bowl, just to put it into the bowl I want. So, and you'll need a spoon. What I like about this bowl too is it also has a lid. So once the dough's done, we're going to cover it and put it in the fridge. So it's like an all-in-one bowl. If you don't have that, that's okay. You can always put the dough in a separate bowl, cover it with plastic wrap. It doesn't say to cover the actual dough, like to wrap the dough. It says to cover it, so you just cover the bowl top. But we'll get there. So all you're going to do is you've got your 5 cups of flour, 10 grams of salt, right in there, 30 grams of sugar. I don't know why I keep saying it like that. 30 grams of sugar in there. Boop, boop, boop. Your 7 grams of active dry yeast. Oh no, it won't open. I mean, it did open, but not all the way. There we go. Boop. And then you're going to slowly add the 2 cups of water. I don't know why I'm doing an accent today. And it's not a British accent, so, or an English accent, however you want to call that. So I guess enjoy this little treat of, maybe it's a French accent. I have been learning French a lot more lately, so maybe I'm just Frenchifying my accent today. I'm just mixing it, make sure all the water gets incorporated. We're looking for a shaggy dough. So you'll know you have the dough correct if like Scooby-Doo suddenly shows up, then you know you got a shaggy dough. That was a really bad joke. But if you've seen my videos before, you know I'm good at bad jokes, so it should not surprise you. Alright, I see what they mean. It is like a shaggy dough. Ruh-roh. Yeah, super shaggy dough. So now we're just gonna flour the surface. I washed it obviously beforehand. Always wash your surfaces, especially if you've cooked with me before. I'm always dropping stuff on my surfaces, so wash them before you do anything. And then also, while you're doing stuff, you know, take breaks, wash your surfaces, and afterwards, of course, as well. Oh, sticky, sticky, sticky. Now there is some that didn't fully get incorporated. I'm just going to toss this in here and hope this incorporates. So all we need to do is bring the dough together. It doesn't say we need to knead it. If you are making this not as ahead of time as I am, you're not planning on letting it sit for a few hours or overnight, you can knead it for 5 minutes and then just cover it and put it in the fridge for only 40 minutes instead of hours. I've got time before I really need to be making this, so I'm just going to make sure it's in a bowl. I'm going to knead it, I guess, a little bit just to make sure it's like together. And there we go. We've got a shaggy ball of dough. I'm going to put it back in here. Right back in its little bowl home. So we're just going to cover this up. Again, if you don't have as much time to let this sit, you can go ahead and knead this dough for 5 minutes and then pop it in the fridge for 40 minutes to let it rise or do whatever it's going to do, and then you can use it. I have time because we're not eating till like 5 o'clock and it is 10:30 in the morning. So I'm gonna let this sit in there until then. And also my wrist is kind of feeling weird this week, and I don't know why. Sometimes work makes it feel weird. It doesn't really hurt, it's just tingly because of my carpal tunnel. So I don't feel like needing this for 5 minutes. The sound of that makes my wrist scream at me. So I'm gonna pop this in the fridge and we will see you again in about 5 hours. See you later. All right, we're back. Our dough has been sitting. Oh, it did get bigger. Looks nice and big. We'll play around with this later to get the Vetkoek fried up. But first we're gonna make the filling, I think. I did bring the Vetkoek over to the stove, over there somewhere, off screen, because we are going to need to fry it. So I just want it over there ready. I've got a big thing of vegetable oil sitting in a pot, so that way it'll be ready to go. Thinking about heating it up, but I don't know yet. Oil makes me very nervous, so we're gonna wait. So the curry mince needs to cook for 2 30-minute intervals. So I think on the second 30-minute interval is when we're gonna cook up the Vetkoek. So actually, I'm gonna go ahead and pop that back in the fridge so that it doesn't lose its chilliness. It doesn't say to like warm it back up, so I'm gonna pop it back in the fridge until we're ready to use it. Other than that, I will see you at the counter for the ingredients for our curried mince. Hello Jetsetters, welcome back to the counter for part 2 of our Vetkoek and curried mince recipe. I do want to let you know that over on the stove I have ready a medium saucepan with a heavy bottom filled with vegetable oil. I don't know how far to fill it. I filled it to what I think looks good enough, but once we start frying the Vetkoek later, I think I'll be able to judge a little bit better, and then if I need to add more, we'll add more. But the ingredients we have here is actually not that much. That's because I did a little sneak trick on you. First of all, we have 1 large onion diced, 1 medium potato diced, a pound of ground beef. It does call for minced beef. Ground beef is the closest I could find. I did read that you can use it as a replacement in a pinch. What the main difference is that this is going to give it like a creamier texture, whereas the minced beef is from, it's like skeletal muscle, I think, and it would be like shaved almost. So 15 milliliters of olive oil, and then this is the tricksy part. You have a seasoning mixture. This includes 3 cloves of minced garlic, 5 grams of ground ginger, 2.5 grams of smoked paprika, 5 grams of black pepper, 2.5 grams of ground cumin, 15 grams of mild curry powder, and 5 grams of ground coriander. It says 15 grams of mild curry powder, not 1.5, so curry is our definite main flavor here. You're also going to have 30 grams of tomato paste and 30 grams of that smooth apricot jam, or your fruit chutney that we used for the bubble tea actually. I still had more of the apricot jam, so I used that. I also had more of the chutney, but I really wanted to use up this apricot jam a little bit more because I'm not going to eat it. You also need a half cup of water, salt to taste, and that's it. Oh, you do need to have a cup of frozen peas and carrots that have been thawed. However, weirdly enough, my store was out of them, which is fine because my family doesn't even like peas and carrots anyways. So for me and my family's particular tastes, that worked out well. So no peas and carrots in here, but do know that if you're making this and you like peas and carrots, you'll need a cup of frozen peas and carrots that have been thawed. So our first step is to take our oil and get it heated up over on our stove. So I'll see you over there. Oh my god, I wasn't recording this whole time? Wowza, I love that for me. I thought I was. Okay, so what we've done is we've put the oil over a medium heat, and I've added the ground beef. Or if you're using minced beef, you'd add the minced beef. We're just browning it. I've also gone ahead and brought over the rest of the ingredients as well, because we are going to need them at different stages, but we are going to stay at the stove. So that way, whenever we need them in our next stage, they will be readily available to me. And we have added 0 seasoning or anything yet. It's literally just oil and the beef. Just trying to get it nice and browned up. And because I'm using ground beef instead of minced beef, I am just kind of trying to make sure when I'm stirring it that I'm not stirring it back into clumps. I'm like breaking it up as I stir it too. Hopefully that'll help our texture not be as creamy, but we're definitely going to be a little creamier, which is a weird way to describe meat, but it's true, than we would be if we were using a minced beef. Let's let that cook for a little bit. All right, I'm gonna say this is browned enough. We are gonna continue to cook it, and it is mostly brown. There are some red spots still, but like I said, we're gonna continue to cook this up nice, so it's gonna all be completely brown definitely by the time we're done. So next up is to add your onions. And we're just gonna fry this until they're soft. So it's kind of like a little one-pot meal, which is nice. We're just gonna cook everything in here. We're gonna let it simmer. Add potatoes, let it simmer. It's all just gonna be in here. When we do cook it for that second 30 minutes, I'm gonna transfer it over to here, bring out the pan or bring out the pot with the oil in it, and then do the bread. So that way that has time to cool while this is cooking up for the second time. Just letting you know what's going to go on for the other part of the recipe. But we've got time before that. Alright, so it's been a couple of minutes. I'm gonna guess these onions are nice and soft in there. So next we're gonna add that spice mixture that does include your 3 cloves of minced garlic. A little surprise at the bottom of that bowl too. It's my nephew's bowl. It's dynamite. What we're going to do with this is we're going to stir this mixture in for 5 minutes, and you are going to stir consistently, constantly, whatever. You're going to just keep stirring. You really want to make sure all this gets coated in there. We're going to do that for 5 minutes. Alrighty, so this has been cooking for its I don't know why I say it like that, for the 5 minutes. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is add the tomato paste, which seems like a very scant amount of tomato paste. Next up, we're going to add the apricot jam and the water. Right there. I may end up, we're gonna taste it after it's been simmering for a little while after that half hour. I may add more jam depending on the heat level of this. If it's pretty spicy, I know the family won't like it very much. I won't like it very much. Or I will, but I'll have to just eat it in incredibly small doses. So I may up the apricot jam, or I may even just put that chutney in there, because I still have more chutney as well. So there's the apricot jam and the water. We're gonna lower the heat to low. I'll stir it all in there real quick. Make sure the apricot jam gets fully incorporated. And I am gonna let it simmer. You wanna simmer it for 30 minutes. Like I said, after those 30 minutes, I'm actually gonna give it a little taste right now too. I kinda see where we're at. Let's see what we're working with. Oh, and I'm gonna put salt in. Ooh, yeah, more jam. So I am gonna throw a spoonful of that chutney in as well. It has got a little kick to it. So I'm trying to even it out by adding just a little more sweetness to it for the fam. So, it's not too spicy, I don't think. I think it's got a nice heat. And I'm pretty sensitive to heat, but just in case, I want to be safe. I want the family to actually like it. So, we're gonna make it a little less spicy. I'm gonna go ahead and cover this, and we're gonna let it cook for 30 minutes. See you in about a half hour. Bye. Alrighty, we are at our, right there, half hour mark. So we're going to go ahead, open that up. Oh my gosh, I wish you could smell this. It smells divine. We're gonna add our potatoes, and if you have those vegetables, the peas and carrots, which we do not have, but if you have them, this is where you'll add them. I'm gonna give this a stir here. Alrighty, now that we've added the potatoes, we're gonna go ahead and cover this again. I'm going to move it, however, to this burner over here. We're gonna cover it and cook it for another 30 minutes. So we have our oil. Like I said, it didn't give me an amount, so I just put enough in there that I think will be enough to fry the bread. We may need to add more, I'm not sure. But we are going to heat this over, I just did a medium heat, to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Basically, you want it to be hot enough so that when we put the Vetkoek in there, it's gonna fry up quick, leaving the inside nice and soft, but the outside crispy. I'm gonna go ahead and get our Vetkoek back out. I also have over here, I have a pan with parchment paper on it, like a cookie sheet with parchment paper on it, and a wire rack, because we're gonna put our Vetkoek on there to cool, and that will catch the drips. Alright, so I brought out our dough, and we are just gonna grab a piece of it. Now, Daryl aims for a ball just under the size of a tennis ball. I think that's pretty much like a tennis ball. It's like that big. You're just gonna roll it up, and then we're gonna flatten the ball so that it doesn't take too long to cook the interior. Have our thermometer here. At like 120 degrees. So I'm just gonna make these and set these to the side while we wait. I don't know if I let this proof long enough, because I don't know if mine are gonna get poofy like that, but we're gonna trust the process. Alright, I'm just gonna check on this real quick. Okay, it is simmering good. Good, good. Let's see what the temp is at right now. 82 outside of this. We're like 175-ish. If you'll notice, there is a little bit of dough in there that just came from me rolling it and stuff. It fell in. But that's typically how I test to see if it's ready, because I'm not usually, I don't think I've ever been given a temperature. This specifically says 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Which is nice, so I'm not guesstimating. I can fully come in here and temp. I'm gonna go at 225 right now. 226. I'm gonna do my best. I'm not gonna put it in here until it's the desired temperature, because you want it to fry up correctly. It's important. So, ooh, we're getting close. 313, 320. $26, $326. Not too much further to go. Take a quick check of the curry too. Yeah, there's a lot of there's still a lot of liquid left, so I'm gonna cook it uncovered for the last 8 minutes and see if we can get that fixed up, because there's a lot of liquid left. I think because you're cooking it with it covered. If you're cooking with it covered, the moisture has nowhere to go, so you're just gonna get a lot of liquid. So I'm not sure. And I double triple checked. It did say after you put the potatoes to cook it uncovered. Cover and cook an additional 30 minutes. Alrighty, let's give it a whirl. See if we're at 350. Ooh, 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 that's a good sign. Yep.
350 it is. This is gonna be super hot. I'm just gonna nicely place that in there. And you just want to cook it till they're browned. Oh, they are puffing up. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I don't want to crowd the pan too much. I'm going to give them some room. I was worried because my dough is kind of dense, but it's not. It's puffing up really nicely in here in this oil. So we like it at. That side's not browned quite yet. This one I think is. Oh yeah, yeah. I may even want it a darker brown than that. We'll do these a little bit lighter brown, and the next batch we'll do a little darker brown. So we have a mix of different things, because some people might like their bread a little less fried. Let's give my curry a stirry over here. Oof. Alright, these I'm gonna let get a little crispier because I like crispy. So we'll just have a couple of variations. Now Daryl does say that these might flip on their own because of the air inside the Vetkoek, and I've noticed that that has happened a couple of times to some of these little guys. Ooh, that one looks nice and freaking crispy, dude. That looks good. And that's just the end of our curry, but there's still a lot of that liquid in there, so I'm gonna let it cook a little bit longer. Alright, so our little guys are all done cooking. I've split them up. This is one of the more cooked ones. We're just going to do a little bit of that curried mince in there. And there you have it. Wow. So we're going to go ahead and give that a try. I do still have more of these Vetkoeks cooking, but we're going to give it a whirl because I'm hungry. Alright, y'all, so we have our Vetkoek and curried mince sandwich. Might have felt it a little too full. It's hot. It just came out of the fryer. It just came out of off the stove, but we're gonna go for it. Needs a little more salt still. A whole lot in, but you know, I love me salt, so that's that. Alright guys, well thank you so much for tuning in. Again, so this was Vetkoek and curried mince, and you can find this recipe at darylskitchen.com. As always, you can check out our Patreon, our merchandise shop, and our We Did It fund in the description below, as well as a link to this recipe. Hope you all take care of yourselves and be good to each other. See you in the next one. Bye, Jetsetters.